Yeah. Good. Yeah. Zoom be letting you know you supposed to be on a call right now, bro. You better get together.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Here we go. We go here. Gotcha. All right. Good. Perfect. Roll up. Good stuff. And good. Boom. And I got you here. Good. Sweet. Looking good. It sounded good. All right. Good, good, good. Yo, let me just pray real quick. Father God, just thank you, God, for this opportunity to have my brother here on the show. I thank you for blessing him and keeping him safe in Louisiana as he goes to and from. Father, keep him covered from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet. And thank you for the knowledge and the wisdom that I'm going to learn from him today, and as we're able to share and just talk to the people all across the world that are either going through a crisis or learning how to deal with it, or just being able to understand how leadership is not about how many people are following us, but how we lead ourselves, and that way we can be an example. So I just thank you for this opportunity, for this special interview. In the name of Jesus, amen. Yes,
Oh,
sir. You can hear me good?
oh yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna do my little opening. I'm gonna brag on you a little bit, and then we're gonna welcome you in. We're gonna roll. All right.
All right, all
All right,
right.
let's bring your site up real quick. All right, good. Your website is incredible, dude. That's something
Oh,
different.
oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The one you sent me, I was like, this is really hot right here. So we're gonna talk about how you got in business and all that good stuff. All right, let me get rolling here. And so my Zoom link, boom. Yes, sir. And here we go. All right, here we go. Welcome to this Time to Lead podcast, where leaders come together to grow and get better. My name is Fred, and I'm your host. And today's topic is leading through a crisis. And I don't just have anybody as a special guest. I can't even call him just a special guest. This gentleman is my brother-in-law. So y'all know I'm excited about that. All the way from New Orleans, Louisiana. And this gentleman is an entrepreneur. He's one of the most gifted guys I've ever seen in my life as far as music. He's a man of God. He's entrepreneur. He's a business person. He's just a leader in his own right. And I want to welcome him to the show. I'm just excited to welcome my brother Justin A. Godchild. Welcome, Just.
Hey. How y'all doing today?
All right, man. I had to brag on you a little bit, bro, because this is a show where we're talking about leadership, and I can't think of anybody else that have led the way. You know, from the time that I met you 5 years ago, I came down and took your sister from you and married
Yeah,
her up.
yeah, yeah.
My wife,
Good. Woo.
he said, my wife, Iona, this is our brother, and I'm just so excited, man. So I'm talking about leading through a crisis, bro, but I want to introduce you to everybody. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background for those who don't know you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Justin A. Godchild. I am the younger brother of Iona, which is my sister, wife of Fred. And thank you again for taking her off our hands.
Y'all know what
Yeah.
kind of service going to be here today, right? I love it. My
You know, just in general, as Fred mentioned, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a creative person. Um I'm a man that is striving for excellence in all my ways. And of course, I'm a person that's growing in every way, shape, form, and or fashion, socially, politically, economically, culturally, spiritually, and or otherwise, you know. So,
Definitely. So let me ask you this, man. When did you get the bug? Because I know that from when I first met you, it was my wife told me so much about you as far as your gifts and talents and music, because we connect on that level as well. And then when I seen just over a couple of years, just to see how busy you stay and how enterprising you are, man. When did that first start for you, as far as you wanting to be a business person and also to be a person who has the level of knowledge that you've acquired? When did you first want to do that?
well, I suppose Well, that's actually a good question. I was recently looking at my high school transcripts.
Wow, look at this. Jeez.
So, just to let the cat out the bag,
Right.
I didn't do very well in junior high and high
Mhm.
school academically,
Yeah.
not because I wasn't able to, or shall I say incapable. I just simply never really applied myself.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
more interested,
And there's a difference. There's a
yeah,
difference. Okay, I
yeah,
got you.
yeah.
Yep.
I was a bit more interested in being quote unquote a socialite,
Hmm.
music person,
Yep.
just kind of really interacting on a social scene and our level. But what
Hmm.
surprised me after looking at my transcripts, I said, man, here it is. I got D's and a few F's and whatever and all
Yeah.
this stuff, but yet in free enterprise,
Mm.
A100. Yet in civics, A100,
Mm.
and in these niche type of concentrations,
Yeah.
I quote unquote had a natural understanding, consciousness, and a gift to understand how those systems work.
Mm.
Um, Also, how I think, how I comprehend, how I rationalize.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a numerologist. I see numbers, I see systems, I see patterns, I
Mm.
see how things kind of work. So when I equate that with some of my background, academically from junior high, high school, and then also just seeing society
Yeah.
kind of placement, how do you have the blue collar and the white collar, the different kind
Mm.
of people. I just naturally gravitated uh, to wanting to quote unquote be a boss, and that's kind of a vague term,
Mm.
but wanting to provide something of value to the general populace,
Yeah.
whether it be a product, good, service, and a resource, so that I can satisfy their actual needs.
Mhm.
So, and what's actually funny is my daddy, you know, him being a pretty much lifelong painter, contractor, etc., had his own little business. He basically said when I went to go work with him about 14 years old, maybe like a
Mhm.
weekend or two, he was
Right.
he was like, man, I don't think you really cut out for this. you know, I just really see you with that tie and that briefcase, man.
Look at that.
That's you.
Wow. He saw
Kid
it.
you,
He saw it then.
kid you not, man.
Oh
It never really truly dawned on me like that.
man.
But I will say this, and I'm pretty much done with that synopsis. But I will say this: that any entrepreneur, any leader, any creative person uh, that is a leader, that is successful in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion, you have to be creative in
Hmm.
the field of entrepreneurship. Um, and and I say that because I've also seen throughout my life me being one who loved to create, me being gifted
Hmm.
to create, whether it be visual arts, music, other forms of creativity. You
Right.
cannot be a successful entrepreneur, stay alive, and or pivot and evolve as social economics change if you're not creative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one of my greatest gifts from the creator is being creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is then that's key, especially during now. In the it's a great that's a great segue to not only having a gift but recognizing it and being okay with it. Like you said, when your dad saw that you wasn't cut out. My dad told me the same thing when I try to fix a car. He told me, he said- and I remember having what was that called the mechanic class in school. I was a CDF kid myself, and
Mhm.
so I even tried to one time you know I found out my dad knows a little bit more about science than I do because I tried to take my lead pencil and change that F and put a little round.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Try to do one of them numbers, right? And then let me try to make it look like a big, and he pulled me to the side real quick. He said, you know, he kind of spared me that night. He said, let me see your report card. He said, I want to show you something about how you like science class. I said, science class is good. I said, I'm doing good. I got a B. And he said, well, I learned some things in my science class. I learned something about lead. I said, oh yeah, what did you learn about lead? He said, well, I learned that lead shines. So he takes me from the report card from the light.
Yeah.
That joint was shining. It was shining like that. Man. Fresh too. Fresh, man, just.
Wow.
And I looked at him. He looked at me. I don't remember anything after that. I draw a blanket, but yeah, I definitely got that. But there's another time where he told me I bought my first car, and there was a Datsun B210, and my starter went out, right? And I said, Dad, my starter's out, and he was wondering. I said, can you fix it? He said, well, I'm gonna help you fix it. So he goes to the store and he buys me a starter. So I'm saying he's good. I should be riding next day. He should have it in. He left him on my front seat. Yeah. And I said, it's not in the car. He said, well, you want to drive your car, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, well, it's 3 bolts on, 3 bolts off. Take it all the same way, put it back on.
Yes, indeed.
2 weeks later, I figured that thing out. 2 weeks later, but those things I can connect with you, because those kind of situations that we had when we were younger with our parents, they actually know and see the gifts and talents, and it could be drawn upon as a negative because it's like, oh, you know, you ain't cut out for this. But at the same time, it actually had an opposite effect, because it's like, okay, yeah, you may not be good at this here, but I do see something in you that is good, and I already see you with a tie on, and then you manifest it. So that's just, I think that's a great way of transferring influence and seeing a gift, and then you just move it on with that and taking it and run with it. So a lot of you know a lot about history. A lot of people don't probably know the history of New Orleans, but not just the history of New Orleans, but a lot. You taught me a lot. And you seem to have a passion about information. Where did that come from?
Yeah. So before I answer that question, just to kind of go back to what you said, you know, like, yeah, my pops saw that in me, and I suppose at first I kind of did look at it as a negative, as a, you know, young, you know.
Yeah. I got you.
But at the same time, I believe it actually burned a idea and or a notion within my head and our memory.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I could understand what there are other things that I could do.
True. Okay.
You know,
I got it. Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, I can't paint like him.
It was okay. And it was okay at that point. I got you. Yeah.
And while just thinking about this interview, you know, I didn't know exactly what we were going to be discussing, whatever, but a thought came to mind, you know, and the thought was, well, leadership. Like, what does the leader do? How does the leader do? You know, that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And one thing just kind of came out, which was a leader is not the end all be all to everything and or to everyone.
Very good.
Leaders, you know, have certain niche gifts, abilities, and things that they can normally do that perhaps some other people can't do.
True.
You know, we are leaders. Nevertheless, we can't do everything. And I say that because no matter what business I've led as entrepreneur, CEO, chairman, president, etc., I realized that that in times past, in my 19 and 20 and 20 when I first got into business, I tried to do everything, but I realized that I wasn't good at everything.
Right.
So
Me
really,
too. Me too, like, man. I got it. Yeah. It's like a bingo.
And as a good leader, you have to do just like my daddy did, and see the qualities and the characteristics and the traits and the qualities that certain people have and their gifts and their abilities, and put them in position so they can shine, so they can make things really go.
There it is.
I
Yeah.
had to learn that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to really learn that.
Right.
Because I wanted everything done right.
Right. Okay.
Done.
And you got to trust them too.
And that's a
Yeah.
big thing.
That's a big one for me too, man. I know.
That,
remember that old adage, if you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. But then I'm learning, like, if you, that falls under the line of equipping. Like, there's someone that you got to equip, that to the point where you can trust them, and even though they may not be up to par, at least be able to find someone that you're going to start seeding into, so that eventually they can replace you. Not in the sense of replace you, but just being able to, you can walk away and that thing will still go. If I'm understanding a true entrepreneur, is to build something and turn it over.
Absolutely.
Right? So somebody has to, you have to equip somebody to be able to do that, but it's tough. It's just
absolutely. And I'm reminded to one of my employees some years ago when I owned a taxation, nationwide taxation firm, which was the first African American nationwide firm, and I was a franchisee of it. And one of my employees, we were doing several different things, whether it be taxation, credit repair, and some other different products too. And it's actually funny now when I think about it, because we were talking about, all right, we're going to bring this new product line with for our service clients, and I want you to do this, that, and the other, and make it happen. I just kind of like threw it out there.
Yeah.
And my employee said, "Well, aren't you gonna like do a demo? Like show me.
Yeah.
Show me the sales pitch.
Right. Yeah.
How you would do it, and I'll reciprocate and do it the same way." And that was quite impactful, for me, because I was like, now, although I've been instilling and showing and the whole process, but that helped to reiterate that, hey, if you really want quality and things in a certain way, you have to equip, you have to mold, and you have to instill yourself, duplicate yourself into these actual employees.
Right.
And once you've done that, you have to trust them.
Yeah.
And if in fact, along the way that they're not exactly doing things accordingly, well, you retool them, you retrain them for another session, so that they can really, catch on board and do what you do.
Nice. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Especially, you want to make sure they're equipped just in case there's a crisis that comes up. And we're all.
It's not a matter of in case; it's a matter of when.
Wait. And there, I was my first job. I worked for a $1 billion company, and it was 13 years old. It sounds impressive, but I learned a whole lot of stuff. I learned how to make fries. I learned how to make shakes. I learned how to make Big Macs. It was a $1 billion company. I'm going to use it's all about perspective, right? Right. 13 years old, $1 billion company. Running. But it's interesting because when the crisis for McDonald's is there's a bus coming, and you got to manage the chaos that's going to happen when a bus comes. Now, if you're just a customer, you from the outside, you looking at this and you expecting that same time that the burgers are going to be there and the fries. But in actuality, as a lead now, I got to make sure I got folks positioned. I got to make sure that I'm like, drop 50 burgers. I'm trying to kind of envision how I'm going to get these people up out of here so they can get back on their bus. And that takes management, that takes skill, that takes a connection, a trust that you guys are going to do all this training that we've been doing. Right now, we got a crisis right now. So have you ever had something like that happen as far as in your business where, training that you put in now needed to manifest with the people that you that was working for you?
Well, yes. I think, and to one degree or to another, there's always a crisis,
what's going on?
There's always a fire burning.
Sure.
And partly because, consumers dictate markets and things always change.
Yeah.
No matter what the business, business is. But
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the key things that we must understand as leaders is to know who we are, know what we are capable of doing and what we have taught our people,
Right.
and have patience more than anything.
Yeah.
Patience. Patience is key. Patience is what got the guy who had an idea for a business to draw it out, put it on paper,
Right.
and from paper to go get an LLC or LLP or Inc. or whatever the case may be, and
Mm-hmm.
then to maybe go borrow money from his mama or from his daddy or get a little loan, whatever, and to work that business through the whole process. So now you've gotten from point A, from imagining a business to a little small startup to actual customer clients, and then to moving that thing along. And now all of a sudden you have a real dilemma that comes
Mm-hmm.
and says, okay, hey, this could maybe make or break the actual business. But
Yeah.
what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
How do you evolve? How do you matriculate? How do you pivot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing that you did from point A to here, that you have to have that patience
Yeah.
to see yourself on the other side of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, people, you've heard the term entrepreneurs versus entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of people, they may have a lot of skills and they
Mm-hmm.
may have a lot of abilities and a lot of ideas and creative juice,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to have patience in this
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
called leadership
Mm.
/ entrepreneurship and business.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, actually, I remember doing a training one night time, and I had and kind of it's kind of stuck with me to talk about the way crisis kind of it kind of reveals the character of a leader, right?
Oh yeah, oh
It
yeah.
really shows what a leader is on the inside, and when they and how they respond. I always talk about it's not how you it's not how you react, it's how you respond. And I've heard this quote that says that you're not made in a crisis. A crisis doesn't make you; it
No,
reveals you.
it sure certainly does.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, and I'm glad you say that because I'm now 40 years young.
Yeah, man.
And
Look pretty good there, buddy.
yeah,
you know.
and I look at the Justin at 2025 as an entrepreneur,
Sure.
and the guy I am now at 40.
Yeah.
And then I'm envisioning what I'll be at 45, 50, and 60, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say all that because you got to have a micro vision of where you are and what you're doing, and a macro vision.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, a crisis does not make or necessarily break a person. It definitely does reveal
Mm-hmm.
who you really, really are.
Yeah.
There were times in my early 20s and my mid 20s, in entrepreneurship, that certain things that I've encountered most recently
Mm-hmm.
would have made me, flip my wig, so to speak.
Yeah. Right. Right. I got you. Yep. Yep.
But through growth and maturity, and that's what life is all about anyway.
Yeah.
It's about experiencing and growing and maturing to become a better you, a more perfect vision of what the Creator always designed for us, through life.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, like I think over time, um, with having some stick to itiveness to the whole game, and having some patience and being conscious,
Yeah.
consciousness is also key. Consciousness of your mistakes,
Right. Right. Absolutely.
because you don't always get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing what you've done wrong, how you've done it wrong, and then possibly looking at a solution or a plethora of solutions for which you can remedy
Mm-hmm.
what you just, got wrong.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about it is growth.
Yeah.
We never truly, 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 truly grow and or learn when everything is perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
When you
That's
have the
true.
house on the hill or the boat on the lake, your
Everything's good, right?
you ain't growing.
No.
Come on. You are
And then-
enjoying, but you ain't growing.
Right.
But
Right.
but when stuff hits the fan, so to
Mhm.
speak, and it seems like there's chaos all around,
Yeah.
you have to find footing somewhere
Yeah.
in the midst of the storm, and know who you are, know whose you are,
Yeah.
and go through that process of actual growth and maturity, which is vital, which
Yeah.
is going to, help to make you a better person, entrepreneur, leader. Um, that's the way I see it, man.
That's good. That's really good. How do you keep balancing work, career, business? How do you? It's a loaded question,
Yeah,
right?
man. Everybody asks me that.
Yeah.
They say, Justin, man, you got this operation, you got that, you got do 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 do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, man, I tell you what. Just like I said before, me being a numerologist, understanding numbers and systems,
Yep. Yep.
that's really like where I'm at when it comes down to categorizing, departmentalizing, um, and or organizing my life. I like to keep things very simplistic.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah,
Simplistic,
definitely.
beautiful thing, right?
Man.
That's why I'm a minimalist in many ways, more than one. Even with stuff I have, materialistic stuff, I don't like to have a lot of stuff, and
Right. Gotcha.
very,
Gotcha.
very, very, very minimalist.
Yeah, you scale down
Yeah, and
to the I got it. I got it.
and have very good systems, a very good process,
Good.
very good people working for you, obviously, and things pretty much mitigate themselves. I like to call it the actual P system. Um, have very good people working for you, have a very, very good process in place for them to follow, have a very good product, good resource and or service, and a very good price point, and you get very good profits,
There you go. I love that piece system. Y'all need to, that's a nugget. Y'all need to write that down. Run that back, just drag the little slider back and write that down. I love that, man. That may need to go in the books, something like that, bro. Good, very good. That's good. So what kind of things since this crisis of the COVID hit, right? Thank God that we're good. How has that how have you been able to lead yourself through this crisis of COVID, and how has it affected your business? And what kind of shifts that did you have to make?
Yeah, well, you know, to be perfectly honest, COVID has affected everybody everywhere on every planet on Earth.
True.
Whether they believe it, disbelieve it, or whatever, it has affected everybody.
Yeah.
Being somewhat of a historian and looking back through previous pandemics and so forth and so on.
Oh, they said the first one. You saying?
Oh no.
I think some people think this is the first one, so I'm glad you're going there, bro, because I define it myself.
Well, I mean, come on, man. I'm 40. You're like,
Yeah, 49. Yeah, I'm old.
Yeah. So, for us to have actually experienced something like this, it's like a once in a lifetime event.
It is.
Hopefully,
You're right.
prayerfully, right?
Yeah, prayerfully, exactly.
So we don't really have a lot of direct, firsthand perspective on something like this. We're in the midst of it now, right? And we're living it. So from a historian perspective, we can only kind of gather of what was and how people mitigated things based on the written record.
That's good.
And the similarities and our non-similarities, currently now.
That's right.
So I draw a little bit from that. And the first thing comes to mind is that we will survive this.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely.
First,
100%.
Yeah. First and foremost, humanity at large will survive this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a sigh of relief, first and foremost.
That is, yeah.
Secondly, you have to reset, man. I don't care how great your business was or wasn't, and even if it wasn't, even more the merrier, because now you really can, utilize the tools that may be
that you were forced to use. Yeah. You wasn't even thinking about it. It was a cute thing, but when you rolling, you ain't thinking about going virtual. For what? The potato chips, they taste the same. This is what's going on here. I'm not changing the recipe, right?
Right,
And I'm
right.
glad you said that, because that it forced everybody to pivot, and some were worse and some made more money. As weird as it may sound, it's the truth, you know.
And to be honest, man, in the business leadership world, everybody's talking now.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, before, you know, people did, you know, if they had a real sweet, good thing going, they ain't trying to share with nobody. Or, you know, if they, you know, was kind of, you know, playing around like they, you know, popping collars and whatever, whatever.
Absolutely.
Now,
Oh,
and now it's
level
real,
playing
real,
field.
real.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now,
How you doing that now?
yeah, right, 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 right.
You want to come talk to me?
Yeah, man. So everybody's talking, everybody's sharing ideas
Sure, sure,
and
sure.
information. If
Yeah.
we didn't know before that the global world system is indeed global and is at your fingertips, we certainly know it now.
You told me
Uh,
about that years ago.
oh yeah, man.
That
Like
whole global, you was dead on it. I'm saying to myself, look at this. It's just manifesting.
real, man. It is real.
I mean,
So
that was a story that says we may be shortchanged. We don't have change. You got
really,
change. You just ain't you taking it out of the system. You, you don't have change.
moment.
No, we ain't
I,
giving you no change no more.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You gonna change how you pay me. That's
Yeah,
about to change. That's right. Wow. Yeah.
man. You know, it's actually amazing, and I'll further my conversation on that, but I have to put a pin there and
Okay.
include, you know, going through Hurricane Katrina, man.
Absolutely. Yes, man. You went through that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
doing
You know
yeah,
me,
look,
baby. Come on
yeah,
now.
look,
You gotta
look,
represent.
man, going through Katrina was just a wow.
Yeah.
It was a mind opener
Mm.
to life in general. Going through it and then post Katrina, you know, a decade, you know, after.
Yeah.
Uh, man,
And you were
it
30 at that time, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wow.
Man, it teaches you some things.
Yeah.
Going back to this pandemic thing, I think the you know the real benefit and the blessing of it all is while you're going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
While you're going through, you're developing character and you're
Mhm.
building character and you're picking up nuggets
Yeah.
of life and information and seeing things you never really knew you could do. And
Mm.
uh,
Yes.
you know,
Yep.
you know, you really stretching yourself, you know, from
Everybody
one
being
lender. Yeah,
stretched.
man. So it's an actual blessing
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know,
There's
people,
always something.
a lot of folks may not see it that way.
No, true. That's true. Yeah. But there's a lot. There's a lot of people that do, because they're living it. They're experiencing. I know. I love the money I'm saving by not driving 100 miles a day.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I love ordering my groceries and coming. Although your sister wipes off every single thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And it's all good. She keep. I just look. I be like, you want me to help? She just get out of my way. I mean, everything
Right.
wiping it down.
That's
God for
that's
her. Yeah, I thank God for her. But I'm just like, at least I know. I mean, this stuff. This has been disinfected and cleaned all the way through. But
but you know, man, like you know what I've also noticed with myself and just people in general and even entrepreneurs, it has really truly, as we said before, really brought out the real them.
true.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, like because it gives you perspective.
Mm-hmm.
People really who are
Mm-hmm.
people that are lovers of humanity
Yeah,
really are able to really see the humanity in the whole situation
that is
and with
true.
people and to have some compassion and so forth and so on. And I saw some people, man, that you would think was, you know, a humanist or people who, you know, had it together and or uh, had loving kindness
Yeah.
and some of those fruit of the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Bro,
doubt. Yep.
man, I mean, totally about face.
Wow. Total.
So, and
360. My
that's
goodness.
that is what crisis somehow
Mm-hmm.
reveals
Yeah.
about people. It really does. But it also is an opportunity.
True.
I
Right.
have literally, you know, I have taken advantage of some opportunities.
Yeah.
that the COVID-19 situation have revealed to all humanity
That's right.
from a business perspective.
Yep. Got
You
it.
know? And I'm like, okay, I can jump on that, and I can
Mm-hmm.
jump on this, and I can provide this product, good service, resource, and
Mm-hmm.
fill this gap. Um, so it's really your perspective.
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like glass half full, half.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, because that void opens up, and someone with that looked at it and said, "Man, look it was missing because of this." Somebody else says, look what I can provide."
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? I see the void, so I'm gonna go ahead and build my thing and go fill it. So that the opportunity is definitely there, man. So real quick, I'm gonna wrap up. This is a great conversation, ain't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Um,
man.
talk about a little bit about I know you were sharing with me that you have some business overseas. What is the demand for entrepreneurs, or is there an opportunity for people to be able to either invest or have an opportunity to kind of build outside of the country? And what have
Yeah.
you found that has been, worth looking at? And without getting to any specifics, what is the opportunity there? And if somebody's watching now who actually has an interest, to do maybe global business, what kind of opportunity have you seen out there?
I'm glad you say that, because if you believe the hype, and the rhetoric that has been ever so present in American
True.
culture for decades
Yeah.
and decades,
In decades.
you would think that the only people that's eating on earth is Americans,
Right,
right?
right, right, right.
Or
Right.
Americans, but that's completely not true. You know, to make a long conversation about that kind of short, we really have been misinformed and are disinformed as Americans here in the U.S. about what takes place abroad, about the need
Sure.
abroad, and about also the greatest opportunities and what else is out there. I mean, there are phenomenal products, goods, services, and resources abroad, phenomenal entrepreneurs, phenomenal need for a little bit of everything.
Mm.
And people who are creative and who are skilled and who have a little tenacity to do something abroad is I mean, like, it's kind of like, abroad, they're like with their hands open saying, come on, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
because the US is saturated.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
US is saturated in everything. What? Okay, you want to start a bank? Okay, so you're gonna compete with, JP Morgan?
Yeah. Yeah. You gonna go to
Yeah, yeah,
city?
but
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
right, right. So it's, man, and when you think about it, we're what, about 330 million, roughly, give or take,
Yep.
people
That's
here
the
in
number I
the US.
keep hearing, tell you the truth. I'm like, dang, it ain't went up.
Yeah, whatever. So but yo, in New Delhi, India, you have 1 billion+ people in one city state right there. You have billion
Sure.
plus people on the continent of Africa, the largest continent on earth. I mean,
Right.
like,
Right.
I mean, you have so much opportunity that's out there. Now the question is, okay, what do you want to get into?
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Sure.
There's everything out there.
Wow.
Of course, what I'm mostly doing, of course, is the real estate investment development, asset management. That's what I'm doing. I'm also have some other niche
Okay.
market
Got
business interests too,
Okay.
some import, export, etc. But when I tell you, it's easier to do
Mm.
business elsewhere. It's cost effective, more,
Mm.
and might I add, you have a lot of skilled labor. You have a lot of people who are willing to work with you, and really do real business
That's good.
abroad,
That's
elsewhere.
good.
Not to say that you can't find some niche opportunities here too in the U.S. But I mean, how many McDonald's are being built? Like,
Right.
you know,
They will tear it down and build it back up before they will build a new one. Right. I
right,
got you. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's out there, man. That's just all I'm saying.
All
It's
right. Good.
whatever you want, it is out there. And I kind of rely, especially when I am quote unquote feeling some kind of way about some situation that have transpired in my life,
Sure.
I go back to this quote here. There's a little quote
Okay,
that
good.
I,
Definitely share
it's
that.
it's and it's numerical, but at the same time,
Okay.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Broke is not a dollar amount. It's your lack of ambition and vision.
Mm.
So people think that broke, oh, I ain't got no money. Okay, but do you have skill?
Mm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
ain't got no money, but do you have the ability to communicate and converse with people who know how to do certain things and bring you in the flow, and you learn how to go about it? Okay, I ain't got no money, but do you have credit? Can you establish some credit? OPM is the biggest thing around.
That's right.
Cash is king, but credit is real power.
Mm.
Your cash gonna run out at some time,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happens after that? you know I'll even go as far without even telling all my business, but to talk about a recent event that took place where, to make a long story short, where someone criminally took a large amount of funds from me.
Okay.
Um, of course, it's under investigation. That, and the other.
That's good.
Right here in the U.S.
Right. Wow,
Not
that's good. At
abroad
least it's not abroad. Yeah, I got
somewhere.
it.
Yeah. I'm right here.
Wow.
And it's a real sad thing
Sure.
all around. But and I was thinking to myself, man, that's a pretty large sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't broke or nothing like that. But
Mm-hmm.
what am I gonna do
Sure.
now? Well, and all kind of little pity party things or whatever. I was saying to myself, going back to that phrase.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey
Yes.
man, look, broke is not a dollar amount. Do you have a broke mind? Do you have broke
Mm.
consciousness? Come on,
Yeah,
Justin. Like
man.
you done came from
Come
business.
on. Come on. Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
I mean, when you couldn't buy,
Right.
whatever. I mean, and no credit
Nothing.
and no nothing, and you had to
Mm-hmm.
be creative, and you had to be patient, and you had to
Mm-hmm.
build, and you had to make connections, and you had to get off of your behind and have some ambition and make it happen.
That's right.
So I say all that, man, I'm not gonna cry about the numerical amount that was
Right.
taken.
Right.
It may come back through this situation, or
Yeah.
if not, I'm still not gonna cry about it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I love about the fact is that you talk about, you know, the physical, nobody, that's going to hurt anybody, but nobody can take the recipe. So
not at all.
you have the recipe to be able to recreate. And I think that people didn't recognize that. And, I'm going to pray that thing works out for you and recover as much as possible. But just be encouraged that you ain't done. They didn't get you. And guess
Yeah,
what? You got the recipe to be able to 10x, whatever was taken. So
without doubt, man.
yeah,
Without.
definitely. So let me just do this, man. This is something near and dear to my heart, man. This is a chance, we got a chance to kick it without my wife taking me away from you.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is pretty cool, man. And she's gonna give me one to talk about. But if someone is looking to get into business and they struggle with maybe self-esteem, maybe thinking they don't have what it takes, what kind of advice would you give them? And if they're dealing with a crisis, just give them something that they can take away from this interview that's going to help
Yeah.
to get them on track.
Well, I would just say, if you are thinking about business and you're somewhat doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, and doubting the outcome of what could happen, this, that, and the other, from a corner perspective, I would just say, well, hey, look at where you're at right now. How is that working out for you?
Right. True.
So, I mean, hey, man, you're talking about the ifs, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, roll the dice, quote unquote. Give it a try. That's
right.
the corner perspective.
Got it.
And it's also factual. But from a perhaps spiritual and or experience perspective in business. Um, Check your, because your motive will always lead you to success if it's real, if it's true, if it's righteous.
Yeah.
If you really truly have the desire to go into business to solve and or resolve problems, situations for the general populace, consumers, provide a product, good service, and a resource to them, and you want to be fair, you want to be equitable, you want to do what is right and build for yourself generational wealth for your generations to actually come, you will find the way. You will be the way. You will become the way. And know what you're made of. The Creator has gifted all of us with so many gifts and so many abilities. I would also say, get a mentor, and if not a direct mentor, educate yourself. Educate yourself. Never stop educating yourself. That's one thing that I love about myself, is that I love to be in the know.
You're a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't want to be naive something.
No.
No.
Be naive.
Yeah.
That's right.
Naive, lie is right in the middle. No, I want to know.
I want to know.
Show me the evidence. Show me the proof.
Right.
So you have to educate yourself on the subject matter for which you are interested in going into. Make those connections. I promise you, if you ask questions to people who are in business, they'll give you a response. It has never there's never come a time where I haven't wanted to go into business, and sometimes have felt a little intimidated for people who are really doing big things.
Big things, yeah.
And I don't know about that industry or that area, when I was coming up, but I had to put my shoulders up and smile and ask a question.
That's it.
And to my surprise, hey, yeah, oh wow.
They gave up the tapes just like that.
Yeah, man. Because what I find out about entrepreneurs, including myself, we love to share our story. We love to not just share our story and be braggadocious in that regard, but we love to put people on, to show you that you too, can fulfill your dreams and your desires, and bless your life.
It does something to you. It gives you a moment of fulfillment. You think, yeah.
Of course, because if you kind of quote unquote down on your luck and you ask for a meal and I take you to Subway, and I just done give you a meal and pat you on the back, and now you're looking for a whole nother meal,
Right.
But if I, sit you down and show you some life lessons and some business lessons and some contacts and some do's and don'ts and this, that, and the other, and put you in the flow, you're gonna constantly eat your own.
That's right. It's a whole gimmick. It's a whole give them a fish or fish.
Man.
Just I appreciate you, man. That is Justin A. Godchild, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and I'm proud to be his older brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about him. I'll let you know how 50 is in 2 months. I'll let you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
I love you, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. I hope you had a good time. Give me one quick book that you either recently read or you get ready to go read.
Wow, there's a lot of books. There's this new book that Obama actually just wrote and just finished. And I was looking at it. Oh man,
I just saw it scrolling across. I think Michelle had on her
yeah.
podcast. Shout out to Michelle Obama if you're listening to our podcast. Shout out to you and Barack.
Right. I'm very, very interested to really, to really find out more about it, because it's actually about leadership, for the most part.
Good.
But man, wow, book.
Something that kind of made you made you stop in your tracks. You didn't just scroll through it. You actually stopped and maybe bookmark it and mark it up a little bit.
Oh wow, and there's so many of those. Wow, man. I mean, I almost turn a blank because there's
Yeah,
so
that's
many.
okay. But
Uh,
do me a favor, shoot it to me on the email, and then I'll make sure
yeah,
when I post the show,
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put it in
yeah,
the
yeah,
show notes.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Yo,
man.
man, go ahead and get back to your business, man. Love you. Can't wait to see you again after this crap is over, man. I just want you to know, looking forward to come back, get some of that gumbo, and come get
Oh
some of
yes,
that good
indeed.
food down, mom. Put it down. Shout out to my
Yes,
wife, Iona, and mom as well. Want to see, and dad, and everybody down there, Alicia, Ty, all them,
oh
everybody
yeah,
in our family. Shout out to y'all. This is a great conversation.
oh yeah.
Listen, I've been thinking about bringing on the show for about almost a year and a half. So I said, I put my brother on the show. I got all these people. I don't even know these people.
Right.
But it's been good, man. I hope you had a good time, man. I hope it was all
Definitely did.
expect
Definitely did.
expectations. I'm gonna shoot you the MP3 of this, and I'm gonna also send you the video so you can have it for yourself, man. I think it'd be something. It's gonna go down in history, man.
Hey, man. Hopefully.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I told you, brother. Later.
All right, babe. Later.